welcome to the most must-see NWR7 talk show in history. Welcome to the Christmas edition of The Rundown. I'm Cody Dzis. Also, welcome to Season 2 because Season 1 was all the fall sports. We're entering into the winter season, which means a lot more hard-hitting action for you. Follow the Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter at the same handle at NWR7_The Rundown. We got a lot to talk about today. It is basketball season, and that's what I'm hyping up today. Girls basketball had one game to start off the year, and boys basketball had two. One resulted in a win, one resulted in a loss. We're going to talk about both of those sports today, followed up by the Q&A as always. Let's start off with the girls basketball team. Girls basketball had won their first game 62-24 at Litchfield. They played against the Cowboys. The player of the game was Skylar DiMartino, who had 18 points. Natalie Letterman also had 10 points, and Jonna Sandin had 9 points. So those were the top three scores. Breakout performance for the girls. Freshman Morgan Plitt. You may recognize the last name. Boys basketball had Zach Plitt and Jake Plitt several years ago. Great athletes. Now their little sister Morgan Plitt scored 7 points in her first career varsity game. Congratulations, Morgan. Keep doing great things. And another thing on Skylar DiMartino, she is first in points per game with 18 points per game. Obviously, it was only one game, but still, I took down stats from all around the Berkshire League, and she ended up being number 1 in points per game. And she's also 10th in field goals made with only one game played, so that's pretty impressive because other teams, they played like 3 or 4 games. Some of them have played 2, but only one game, and Skylar's in 10th for that. So congratulations to Skylar. My advice to the girls basketball team, I would just say keep up the good work, stay aggressive on the floor, make sure you don't give up any easy points, play as hard defense as you possibly can, and let's get wins as many times as we can. I know we're going to have a lot of tough matchups for them this year, and I know Housatonic is one of those tough teams, but I honestly think this team is going to be pretty great. And also another good team in the Berkshire League is Nonalog. That's going to be a very tough game, but I think Northwestern's going to be able to handle that, and I think they're going to be very good this year and possibly, most likely, give us the Berkshire League title. Coming up next, we're going to talk about the boys basketball team and how they won one and they lost one. We'll be right back. Welcome back to The Rundown, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Cody Dzis. Follow the Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter at NWR7 The Rundown, same handle as always. And I forgot to say at the beginning of the video, this is career enhancing and career enlightening. I can't believe I forgot my own words from that because I've said it every episode. But we're going to continue on. Now, boys basketball. They had a great season opener. They won 63-41 in a very convincing win against the Litchfield Cowboys at home. It was their home opener, so it meant even more to win that. Player of the game was not our highest leading scorer. It was actually our third leading scorer, but a great game. Joe Oganowski, who had 8 points in the game, but he earned this by playing his absolute hardest and making his minutes count. In that game, he was a backup to Trent Valier, who is the normal starting center, but Joe played an incredible game, so I had to give it to him. And we also had a post-game interview with him. You guys can go check that out on the Instagram at the same handle, obviously. But Levi Delaney also had 16 points in the win, and Brandon North had 10 points also. Game 2. This is a little difficult for me to talk about. I was at this game. I was living the moment. I was living in all the chaos that went down. It was a 65-50 loss against the Pomperog Panthers, and we were at home for this game. Last year, we had beaten them convincingly. This year, we ended up losing by 15, which I'm a little upset about, but let's just go through it. Brandon North had 10 points, and that was the team high for an individual player's points. Levi Delaney ended up only having 9 points. This is one of his lowest point totals that I've seen since he's been a varsity starter. And Joe Oganowski with 8 points. Again, solid numbers from Joe. Levi's numbers went a little down. Brandon stayed the same as well. So They're both playing pretty well. Joe and Brandon. Levi had fallen a little bit, but he's going to get back up there because I know how great of a player he is, and I know how great of a team this is. They're going to bounce back. Levi Delaney, good word on this. He has 12.5 points per game, and that's 15th in the BL. Now, obviously, some teams just haven't even played that many games. Like, Northwestern's only played 2 games, so with a 16-point game and a 9-point game, you get 25 out of that and divide by 2, and it's 12.5. So, very, very interesting out of that. And Levi is also tied for 5th in field goals made. He has 9 field goals made on the year, which is pretty good. Another guy that's breaking out pretty well is Clay Maloney. He's a junior. He plays some JV time, but he's getting some varsity minutes as of late. And he has 4 3-pointers made in his varsity minutes. And he is tied for 3rd in the Berkshire League for 3-pointers made. So he's doing a really good job. Word of advice for Northwestern boys basketball: work on beating the press coverage and beating double teams. That I could tell that was the biggest struggle last year because a lot of teams would do that to us, and a lot of teams would face guard some of our talented players, which everyone is talented, but some of our most talented players, and that was a huge struggle for us to get past. So this year, we need to keep working on that, or at least you guys do, because I obviously can't. And big men. You guys are called big men for a reason, because you can push people out of your way, get up, box out, and grab the rebound. That's one of your biggest things. You're also great defenders. My biggest thing is, after seeing the game against Pomperaug, yes, they're a pretty big-ish team, but I think realistically you guys just need to work on the rebounding, because I was seeing some of our bigger guys get pushed out of the paint like they're rag dolls. And, you know, I'm not trying to disrespect at all. I'm just saying it didn't look like you guys were playing at full strength. It didn't look like you guys were caring as much about this game. And that's one of the biggest things. If you're a Northwestern athlete, you need to care. Not about yourself, not about your own health, but you have to care about this team, and you have to play as hard as possible. I see a guy like Cam Mulligan, who's 5'11", or almost 6 feet, grabbing rebounds. I see him playing incredible defense, and I saw him foul out of the game against Pomperaug, which was unfortunate because he's one of our better defenders in my opinion. He's shown himself on the court. He's shown what he's worth, and I think that really means a lot. So Cam, nice job so far on the year, replacing Colin in the starting lineup for now, because I know Colin Wilson most likely will probably make a return back. But no, most important thing is work on beating press coverage, work on getting out of the double teams, because I saw a lot of turnovers happen because of double teams, and work on the rebounding. If you're a big man, I think you know who you are. So that's my advice to you guys. Take it or leave it. I don't care what you do with it. I hope you guys listen to me and what I had to say. Coming up next, we got the Q&A. We have 2 questions this week, and they're pretty interesting questions. You may want to stick around for it. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to The Rundown. I'm Cody Dzis. This is Season 2. Follow the Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter at the same handle above, at NWR7_The Rundown. I've been saying it since day one. Come on, career enhancing, career enlightening. This is the Christmas edition, and, you know, there's always a special time during the holidays where you have interesting questions. I figured a Q&A would be perfect, but we only have 2 questions this week, so it's going to be pretty interesting. There is one that I actually am interested in that I want to answer, and one of them that is a pretty good question that someone asked me, and I was happy about it. So let's get right to it. Question 1. Would you ever talk about middle school basketball? Now, that is a great question, and that's the interesting question because, you know, I'm part of the high school, and I have covered high school sports ever since I had started this channel up a couple months ago, and I've been so focused on that I know that middle school is working hard. I just don't think many people want to hear about middle school basketball or middle school sports. And I hate to say that because, I mean, middle school, I'm going to give them their respect. They're like the up-and-comers of JV, and then the JV is the up-and-comers of varsity. And I cover varsity, and if I were to cover middle school basketball as well, I feel like that interfere in my time. So to answer your question in the most respectful way, no, I do not cover middle school basketball, and I probably will not the rest of the year. So that's the answer to that question. And this is the other question. What did you ask for this year for Christmas? This is a good question, and that actually made me smile about it because not many people had asked me what I wanted this year except for my family. So this is what I did ask for. I asked for an Allen Iverson jersey, also a Chris Webber jersey because I'm a Kings fan if you guys didn't know. But I asked for those two things. I asked for a couple WWE shirts. Pretty good. And then, the biggest thing that I asked for isn't even an item. It's just something to see every day. And that's this channel growing even more. That's this becoming even bigger than I want it to be. So if you guys want to be able to give that to me, then that would be amazing because all I can ask for is all of your support and everything that you guys have done for me over the last year and the last couple of months that I've done this. So, if you really want to help me out, you're going to tell your friends, you're going to tell your family, your aunts, uncles, your grandmother, your grandfather, you're going to tell everyone you know. Follow the Instagram at this handle, subscribe to the YouTube channel because that's going to make me feel better and I know it's going to make them a lot happier because I'm going to try and bring as much joy as I can to this channel moving on. Now, those are the 2 questions for this week. Thank you guys for watching this episode. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel as always. Follow the Instagram, Snap, and Twitter as I just said. Thank you for making this account what it is today, and Season 2 is going to be better than Season 1, and I can guarantee you that. And Merry Christmas from The Rundown. Cody Dzis saying peace.